All right, so you're here for the lowdown on the new Nintendo Switch 2, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this thing just dropped, and everyone wants to know, what's the deal? Is it really worth it? What's new? What's better?
Yeah, you want the info without, like, wading through a bunch of tech specs, right? We hear you.
Exactly. We want the big picture stuff.
So that's what this is all about.
And we've been pouring over this massive in-depth review,
Yeah, this is a really comprehensive look at the new console.
really getting into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, so we're going to give you the need to know on the design, how much better it performs, and, like, what all this means for you as a gamer.
So let's just dive right in.
Yeah, let's get into it.
One of the first things that jumped out from this review was the design. They're calling it like a significant shift towards a more robust design.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not as sleek as the original Switch, but
Okay.
it's definitely still portable.
Yeah, it's not like a giant thing,
Yeah,
but it's definitely like beefier.
it's a little bit big.
Yeah, so what do you think is behind this change in size?
Well, it seems like Nintendo's really focusing on durability this time around. You know, like making a device that feels substantial and can stand up to, everyday use.
Right, because I mean, I love my Switch, but it does feel a little bit,
Flimsy.
yeah, a little bit delicate.
Yeah, and some users had concerns about, like, long-term durability, so it seems like they're addressing that.
Right, makes sense.
And the larger size could also mean better heat management inside the device,
Yeah, that's a good point.
which is going to be important with all these new powerful components.
Yeah, because we all know what happens when electronics get too hot.
Exactly.
It's good.
So speaking of things that feel better in your hands, they also redesigned the Joy-Cons.
Oh yeah, those are key.
The review mentions ergonomic improvements and, like, a more reliable connection thanks to enhanced magnetic attachments,
Oh, interesting.
which, if you've ever dealt with Joy-Con drift, you know how big of a deal that is.
Absolutely. I mean, loose Joy-Cons can really ruin your gaming session.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So this new design seems like a major step forward.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll make handheld play much more secure and also just, using the Joy-Cons detached for tabletop mode or whatever.
Right, exactly, like when you're playing with a friend.
Exactly.
And it just feels better in your hands, too.
Now let's get to the good stuff. The visuals. This review is raving about the new OLED screen.
Oh, yeah, this is a big one.
They're saying the color depth and clarity are like night and day compared to the original Switch.
Oh, wow. So what does that actually mean for the average gamer?
So basically, OLED screens can produce much deeper blacks and more vibrant colors
Okay,
because each pixel can turn off completely.
I see.
So you get like incredible contrast. It's really a noticeable difference.
So it's not just like a small improvement.
No, they said something like it brings colors to life with a depth and clarity previously unseen.
Wow, that's pretty dramatic.
So it's a big deal, and they've also increased the screen size to about 8 inches.
Oh, wow. So it's a bigger screen, too.
Yeah, so it's a more immersive experience when you're playing in handheld mode.
That's awesome.
And it's not just the screen that got an upgrade.
Right.
Under the hood, there's this new custom NVIDIA chipset,
Ooh.
and the review's calling it a marked improvement.
That's always good to hear.
And it's this new chip that allows for those, more complex and visually stunning games that we were talking about.
So this is what's powering all those graphical upgrades.
Exactly. It's not just faster, it's like a whole new architecture.
Yeah.
So it can handle way more complex calculations and effects.
So, like, more realistic graphics, more detailed environments, things like that.
Exactly. And they've also included DLSS.
DLSS? What's that?
It stands for Deep Learning Supersampling. It's basically AI that upscales lower resolution images to near native resolution.
So, like, making things look sharper without sacrificing performance.
Exactly. So you get the best of both worlds.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so, better looking games are great, but what about how they actually play?
Right. How does it feel?
The review talks about a remarkable feat of engineering in terms of performance.
Okay.
Faster loading times, smoother gameplay.
Oh, nice.
For us, that means less waiting, more playing.
Yeah, nobody likes staring at a loading screen.
Exactly. And the review specifically mentioned improved responsiveness, which is huge for, like action games or anything where timing is critical.
Yeah, when you need your controls to be super precise,
Exactly.
it can make or break your game.
And here's a big one for all the handheld gamers out there, battery life.
Ah, yeah, that's always a concern.
They're saying there's a significant extension compared to the original.
Significant, like how much longer are we talking?
They're saying even demanding titles can be enjoyed for hours on end.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so no more scrambling for an outlet in the middle of your commute.
Right, that's a game changer.
Exactly.
So it seems like they really put a lot of effort into improving the battery life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a huge quality of life improvement.
Hmm.
Now, of course, the Switch has always been about that hybrid experience, handheld and home console in one.
Right, that's what makes it so unique.
And it sounds like the Switch 2 is sticking with that.
Okay, good.
But there's a big upgrade for when you do dock it and play on your TV.
Oh, what's that?
They've re-engineered the dock to support 4K output.
Ooh, so you can play your games in 4K on a big screen.
Exactly. So if you've got a 4K TV, your games are going to look incredibly sharp and detailed.
Yeah, that's a big step up visually.
Yeah, it's really bridging the gap with other consoles in terms of graphics.
Nice.
Now, beyond the hardware itself, they also talked about the online services.
Oh, right, because online gaming is a big part of the Switch experience.
Exactly, and it sounds like they've made some much-needed improvements.
Like what?
Well, the review described the new ecosystem as smoother and more integrated with faster matchmaking and improved stability.
So less lag, fewer disconnects.
Exactly, which is a big win for anyone who plays online.
For sure, because those things can be super frustrating.
Yeah, and nobody wants to wait forever to find a match.
Right.
So smoother online experience means more fun for everyone.
Definitely.
Now, of course, a console is only as good as the games you can play on it.
True.
And Nintendo has a pretty solid track record there.
Oh, yeah. They're known for their amazing games.
They really know how to create captivating and memorable experiences.
Yeah, like their games are always so polished and fun.
And the review even mentions some of the upcoming titles like the next Zelda, a new Mario Kart Metroid Prime 4.
Ooh, those are some heavy hitters.
Yeah, so there's a lot for Nintendo fans to be excited about.
For sure. I mean, those are some of their most popular franchises.
Exactly, and they usually knock it out of the park with those.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to those.
But what about all the games we already own for the original Switch?
Right. That's a good question.
Well, good news, the Switch 2 is backwards compatible with original Switch games.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So all your existing games will still work.
So you don't have to start your library from scratch.
Exactly. So that's a big relief for anyone who's built up a collection.
And it makes the Switch 2 even more appealing right out of the gate.
Exactly. You've got a huge library of games available from day one.
Makes sense.
And it's not just Nintendo's own games that will benefit.
Oh, right.
The improved hardware means that third-party games are going to look and run better, too.
So we're going to see more games from other developers on the Switch too.
Exactly. The review said something about enhanced graphics and smoother performance.
So it's going to be a more attractive platform for developers.
Exactly. And that means a wider variety of games for all of us.
Nice. So more options, more genres to choose from.
Exactly.
Oh.
So finally, let's talk about the user interface.
Okay. How's that?
Well, they've completely redesigned it.
Really?
Yeah, the review called it a thoughtfully redesigned user interface that's cleaner and quicker to navigate.
Oh, that's good news. I always felt like the original Switch menu was a little bit clunky.
Yeah, it wasn't the most intuitive.
No.
So this sounds like a big improvement.
Yeah, a good user interface can make a big difference.
Exactly. It makes everything more enjoyable to use.
And they also mentioned a more dynamic home screen with customization options.
Yeah, you can personalize it with different themes and stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it sounds like they've put a lot of effort into making the overall experience more streamlined and user-friendly.
That's great to hear.
And one more thing that's really great to see is the focus on accessibility.
Oh, yeah. Accessibility is so important.
They've added a bunch of new options like adjustable text sizes and customizable controls.
That's awesome. So more people can enjoy the Switch regardless of their abilities.
Exactly. It's really great to see Nintendo making an effort to be more inclusive.
For sure. It's a positive step for the gaming industry as a whole.
All right, so to sum it all up, it sounds like the Nintendo Switch 2 is a pretty big upgrade.
Yeah, from what we've seen, it's a huge leap forward.
The review called it a bold leap forward.
Bold.
I like that. They've really taken everything that made the original great and made it even better.
So a better screen, more power, better battery life.
Exactly. And they've kept that awesome hybrid design that we all love.
It really seems like they've struck a great balance between performance portability and that unique Switch experience.
Exactly. So whether you're a diehard Nintendo fan or just looking for a new console, it sounds like the Switch 2 is worth checking out.
Definitely. I'm excited to get my hands on one.
Yeah, me too. So before we wrap up, here's a question for you at home.
Okay.
With all these advancements, the new hardware, the new features, the incredible new games on the horizon, what kind of crazy new gaming experiences do you think we'll see on the Switch 2? What boundaries are developers going to push? What are we going to be playing in 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, it's exciting to think about what the future holds for the Switch and for gaming in general.
It's a brave new world out there for gaming, and the Switch 2 seems like it's going to be right at the forefront of it.
Absolutely can't wait to see what they come up with.
All right, that's it for this deep dive on the Nintendo Switch 2. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.